the women's 100 breaststroke, and this was just all over the place. I don't know what else to tell you. There were so many things going on in this race. First of all, what I noticed immediately, this swimmer from China took it out like an absolute missile. Tang, are you kidding me? She went out in a 29.9. I thought she was going to go out in like a 29.5. When we were 35 meters into the race, she had over a body length lead on everyone. And you can see it looking at the results. I mean, let me zoom in here a little bit. Look at this. Everyone else going out in a 30.6, 30.5, 30.6, 30.6, right? She was over a second faster. Is this Lilly King? This is Lilly King. She was out over a second faster than Lilly King from the United States. And I was like, is she going to hang on? Because if she hangs on, she's going to like break the world record. She's going to go 104 mid. She's going to destroy everyone. And sure enough, she came back on the field. And we had Tatjana closing with a 34.6. We're going to see her in the 200 breaststroke. She's going to be dangerous. She's a medal winner from the last Olympics in Tokyo. Now, I want you guys to pay attention. Just like the 200 freestyle, we saw a very, very close finish. Let's talk about this finish, right? 105.54, 105.59, 105.60, 105.60. The difference between second and fifth, right? There is a tie. Look at that. That's a tie right there. The difference is 0.06. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, Tatjana nailed the finish. I thought she'd go 104 because she messed up the finish in the semifinal. Whatever. She's an Olympic champion. Good for her. But talk about this nail-biter finish. All these ladies, just their stroke count into the finish is so unpredictable. This Chinese swimmer, the fact that she even was able to maintain and squeeze in right here. Look at that differential. 35.6 to 29.9. Now, if you guys are learning how to swim the 100 breaststroke, or any of the hundreds of stroke, the time difference between the first 50 and the second 50 should only be 3.5 seconds or less. If it's anything more than 4 seconds, you're dying. Now, I'm no mathematician, but I can tell you that the differential between a 29.9 and a 35.6 is 5.66 seconds. That is way too much. If she had just paced it, she would have won the Olympics, but she didn't. And so that's the thing. Anything can happen at the Olympic Games. You know, you got so much excitement, adrenaline, you just want to go after it. And sometimes just sticking with your own race strategy, like Tatjana did, is what pays off. And that's how you win the Olympic gold. Look at how close that is. I love the reaction she had. So emotional. I think I have an image of her right there. There is the image. She is so excited. I mean, look at that face. She's so happy to win. I mean, who wouldn't be happy to win the Olympic champion in the 100 breaststroke? And there's this image of her like crying and just being emotional. It looks like maybe she lost the race, but it was tears of joy. And I sort of expected her to win it, especially after how good she looked in the semifinal. But to see her squeeze by and make it happen, that is amazing. In brawl. Yeah, let's pull some comments on here. All right, let's take a look at the comments. Why do swimmers seem to drop off with age more than other sports? All right, this is a really good question. I think a lot of this has to do with the way that swimmers train compared to other sports. So in swimming, it's a very endurance heavy sport, meaning a lot of people are putting in a lot of hours. It's very physically draining and demanding on your body. And you kind of get sick of that, right? It's a lot of mental fortitude to keep doing this and to really almost abuse your body. Like you are literally just pushing yourself every single day. And when you're age 22, you can kind of push yourself through it. 24, 27, 29, 32, right? As you get older, it just gets that much harder to keep doing that. And in other sports, you can actually, I don't want to say other sports, you don't have to train as much, but I'll say in other sports, you don't have to train as much and you can maintain a superior level of athleticism. In swimming, if you don't really do any swimming, you're going to get worse and you're going to get bad pretty fast. It's rare that swimmers, take a break and they make a comeback. Michael Phelps, we saw it. Brendan Hansen, we saw it. We saw it with Dana Vollmer. She had a child. I think that's probably the most impressive thing when a female literally has a kid and then comes back and then wins another Olympic medal. That's very impressive. But really, it's just difficult because the sport is so demanding. And so to do it as an older age, it's just difficult, right? The other thing that a lot of people don't talk about, or maybe they do, is that you don't really make a living from swimming. So a lot of these swimmers are not, this is not really their full-time job, right? It is because they're training for the Olympics, but they probably have some other thing going on to make money. Or if they want to continue in this journey, they have to find a way to sponsor themselves. And it's very difficult to do that when, you're not really seeing the results that you have. In most countries, the Olympic Committee for the country, they don't actually support their athletes as much as you think they do. It's not like, you make the Olympics and now someone hands you a sack of cash. So it's something that really important to consider as to why these athletes, they drop off basically. When is the men's 100 fly? That is towards the end of the week. So you got to wait a few days for that. It is going to be a good one. The women's 100 breaststroke classics. Love those. Victory of the veterans. Yes, exciting to see as well. As you get older, agility goes down. This is actually partially true. A lot of the athletes we're talking about are in their 20s and 30s, right? Like you can actually have peak athleticism when you're 28 or 35, especially for men. So a lot of it just comes down to the other stuff I mentioned. You can't make an income. It's really difficult to train all the time. You're likely to get injured, over the course of that process. But when it comes to agility, you can absolutely have a ton of agility in your later 20s and 30s. I mean, we saw Anthony Irvin win the 50 freestyle at the age of 35. We saw Michael Phelps in his 30s. Michael Phelps, to this day, in his later 30s, could still probably show up and do some damage